Welcome back to the Enchanted Library. I'm so glad you've stopped in today. Here's what's waiting for you this week. A few fascinating moments from history, a fun day you might want to celebrate, a poem pulled from our shelves, and a simple idea to take with you into the world around you. Let's begin. Let's look back in this week in history. Now, before phones, before email, and long before messages could be sent instantly across the world in a text message, communications over long distances was slow and uncertain. But Samuel Morse helped change that. In the 1800s, he developed a system of communication now known as Morse code, the way of sending messages using simple signals, dots and dashes, that represented letters and words. With this system, messages could travel along wires in a way that had never before been possible. For the first time, people could send information faster than a person could physically carry it. Imagine waiting days, or even weeks for news, and then suddenly being able to receive it in moments. It changed how people understood distance. It made the world feel just a little bit smaller and a little bit more connected. And on May 1st, a tradition known as May Day has been celebrated for centuries. It marks the arrival of spring, a time when the world begins to feel more alive again. In many places, people would gather flowers, decorate their homes, or spend time outdoors enjoying the changing season. There were dances, music, and simple celebrations. Nothing really complicated, just people recognizing that something had shifted in the seasons, that long stretch of cold and dark days was giving way to something brighter. And sometimes the most meaningful traditions are the simplest ones, taking time to notice what has changed. So today to celebrate is going to be May 1st, which is May Day. Now, you might celebrate this in a simple way. You could gather a few flowers, real or even drawn, and arrange them somewhere in your home, or give them to a friend or a neighbor. You might step outside and look for the first signs of blooming plants, or trees that have started to fill in with leaves. Or you could create something inspired by spring, colors, shapes, patterns, or songs that remind you about what you see around you. It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes marking a moment just means noticing it. Now, let's pull something off the shelf. Today's poem is A Bird Came Down the Walk by Emily Dickinson. Now, if you'd like to read along later, you can find it on the Poetry Foundation website. This poem captures a small, ordinary moment and shows how much there is to notice when we slow down just enough. A bird came down the walk. He did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in halves and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass, then hopped sidewise to the wall to let a beetle pass. He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all around. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. He stirred his velvet head like one in danger, cautious. I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rode him softly home. Now, before we go, here's something you might try this week with your family. This week, instead of staying in one place, let's try something a little more active. Go on a short color hunt. If you can, step outside, even if for just a few minutes. Your goal is to find as many different colors as you can. It starts simple. Can you find something green? Something brown, something bright like a yellow or a red. Then go a little further. Can you find two different shades of green? Or maybe something that changes color depending on how you look at it. Now, if you're with your family, you could turn it into a game, each person trying to find their own color. And if you can't go outside, you can do the same thing indoors. Look closely at what's around you. Sometimes the more we search, the more we begin to see things that we didn't notice at all before. And that's all we've discovered this week. If you celebrate May Day or do one of these nature activities with your family, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform and share our podcast with a friend. Stay connected by following us on Facebook at facebook.com/Enchanted Library. If you'd like to support the work we do, you can visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Enchanted Library. We appreciate your support. Until next time, friends, happy reading.